Okay, so now we are on part 5. This is going to be a fun video. It's going to be complicated, so I'm going to not waste too much time. But we're going to get to see some really not fun stuff now, because we're going to do the day and night transitioning ability. So let's get on to it. First thing we're going to go is we're going to edit the script. So we're going to plug it right here. I usually, it's just a choice I made. That's where I've been putting it, so I'm going to put it there. So let's go into tables, get the code. We're going to cut and paste the day and night transition script stuff. Here we are, day and night. Go grab everything all the way to the bottom. There we go. Cut and paste. Bing, bang, done. Yeah, I wish it was that easy though. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to set the area light flashers and then the backglass textures. So let's do that. I know we have 4 of these textures, but the 4th is a special texture. It's independent of all light adjustment. It doesn't get adjusted by any solenoids. It's that 4th one that I added in the 4th video, the one that is completely has white, has the entire spectrum of light, and has the amount dropped to 1. We're going to leave that there. It doesn't get touched, so we don't deal with it. So it's flasher 1, 2, and 3. Make sure that those are correct. 1, yes. 2, sometimes they get renamed something else, so you got to make sure that you're picking the right ones. Okay, so that's good. So we don't need to do anything here. It's automatic. Now we're going to get our backglass names. Start with a dark. So get the SPP here and replace the GI. The GI text with SPP, and we should be go. We know we have a frame. Oops. B, and we know we have a frame, so we're going to add the frame info. We're going to add these are all here, and we also have something missing here. Hold on. Put these in first. Boom, and the table name is correct. If the table name would be different, but it's table 1. If it was called Simpsons Pinball Party or Simpsons, you would have to plug it in here and on the top here. But since it's table 1, it's already correct, so we don't need to adjust anything. You're never going to muck around, not necessarily change these values at all. If you do, if there is a modification, it's to extend, it's not to change these values. So we're going to turn these off for now. They are the next step, but we will be able to see results right away. Now I do have that extra flasher. Usually I have to downshift here to adjust for that. Probably it's going to be super bright now. We have dark, high 1, and is that it? Dark, high 1, frame. Frame is there. Grill. I don't have the grill. Okay. Do I do? Yeah, I do the grill, eh? So, whoops. Grab the grill. And the grill will have the same parameters as the dark background. You can see that they're different. So anything that uses additive will have these 2 calls. Any texture, any background texture, backglass texture will have these 2 calls. And any dark texture that is screen will have these 3 calls. So the grill is a screen type call. Let's see, I'll highlight it. See, it's got screen as a filter. So we will cut and paste these 3 lines here so that its intensity will get adjusted properly when the day and night slider is altered. So there we go. We just need to add this here. Actually, this is going to be brought up to 1.0, not 0.8. I should probably change that in the default to put it 1.0. I will do that. And we have to add the grill. There we go. All right. So we're ready. We're going to run our first test on the day and night transition, and we're going to add the specific lights later after. So here we go. We've saved F5. I didn't fire off the table beforehand. I should have done that just to see what it looks like. And so we are at the lowest setting. You can see it's still pretty dark. And this is because of that texture I added. Normally, what would happen is at this stage, I would add that texture and go and modify that value. You will see the table now drop in intensity. So we are going to downshift the lighting so that it uses not the first record, but the second record in the data set. And now there will be dropped in it. The entire table will be dropped in intensity, which would be more normal for this night view. And there we go. So let's have a look when the system lights turn on. There we go. Yeah.
Keep it coming.
Yeah.
Greetings, Earthlings.
Oh. You can see in general the lighting is quite good right across the board on the whole table. It's very different than what it was when I had it set. But all the lights will be then adjusted again. Now we're going to just notch up a little bit and see what that looks like. Just going to give you a quick and dirty look at all the different light settings and how they look. See, now the background is showing up, but the flooring doesn't show up. So I might actually end up editing that texture, reducing the brightness of this the top portion, and increasing the brightness of the lower portion. I'll do that after. It's just one of those tweaks that you do. Actually, hold on, resume the game. You can just have a look at the lighting. Remember, we don't have the system lights in there yet, so they'll be modified, and then we're going to tweak them a little more. So obviously the table is considerably brighter, and that's something I didn't explain to you is how the light actually works. Let's just load up Photoshop just quickly, just so I can draw what the light looks like, just so you understand. Now, of course, I'm using my pen. No, I'm not using my pen, sorry. The opposite, I'm not using my pen. Yes, that's okay. It'll do for drawing. I'm going to use a brush. I'm not going to use a brush. Yes, okay. Okay, so we're in black, opacity all the way up. Okay, so we'll draw the graph here of the light. Bang. And okay, so this is intensity. And, oh my God. Intensity. Okay, I'll just say it's intense, all right? Because I can't write sideways with a mouse. Okay, so intensity is the intensity of light in that direction, and this is your 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 check marks of your day and night cycle slider, all right? So there's your light, and the light basically does this. It fires up real fast and mellows out and sort of does that. Okay, so it's a bell curve, sort of. It's like a funny looking, maybe a Chinese bell. We have bells that look like that. And the Chinese, well, they have, so it's a Chinese bell curve. I'm just being funny, I think. Anyway, so there's the light. That's what it looks like. And since I have, I'll explain a little bit about my data set. The data set here only has 10 for the 10 different notches in that slider. So basically what happens to the light automatically with my data and that the fact that I did not, there's actually 100 notches, but I only did a data set of 10, so it will have an effect on the light. I'm just going to change the color a little bit, make it gray. Okay, the actual light now will be something like this. So when you hit the notch, it'll bop down. Oh God, what a mess. and then it'll bop down and it'll bop down, and you know what I mean? It just has this little bit of a, oh, that's a big dip. That's not right. Okay, anyway, you sort of get the idea. If I had my pen, I would draw a lot better than that. That's what it looks like when you draw with a mouse. Okay, so that's what the light looks like. It just has these little dips at every notch. So before the notch, it starts to slide down, and then after the notch, it sort of like jumps back up. It's slight. You don't even see it. You wouldn't be able to notice it. In any case, so the data set. So what's the data set do? The data set for certain lights. Okay, the lights that are darkest. This is the darkest, and this is the okay, I'll draw a sun here. All right, and I'll draw what is a moon, and we'll draw it like a kid draws a moon. There you go. So when it's darkest, where we drive up the intensity of the light, like that, that's what the data set does. And when it's, okay, and this is peak light here. All right. And for certain other elements that are in high intensity during the dark, we'll drive down and reduce their intensity, air intensity, and therefore less visibility. And so overall, throughout, and remember, this is not a major lighting modification. It's actually a tweak. It tweaks the light to be a little more, it's really just, how should I say, you know, it's not true glow illumination. It's just you're mimicking, right? It's a trick. And so what it does, all it does is that it makes it look like that's what's happening. That the light, that the environment light, the daylight is so strong that it has an effect on the surrounding smaller lights, but it actually doesn't. I'm actually dragging them down with the data set, and but the effect is, you know, it's effective, and so it works. So this is really bright and actually looks pretty good. It's one of those tables that looks really good, but you can see all the system lights still. The table is still playable, but now we're going to go in and we're going to include all the GI lights, because if you keep going, you'll see that flasher, how it's intense. It should not be that intense, you know what I mean? It should be a little more washed out, a little more integrated into the table. Same thing goes with the black glass lights. They should not be intense. With this much light, you wouldn't even see really in reality the back glass flashing at all. It wouldn't happen. And these, you wouldn't even see the bloom around the light. You'd see the light itself light, but you wouldn't see the bloom. It's just no way. It's just too much competing light. So what we're going to do is the second part of this, we're going to put in the GI light. So I know this, so I go through the list. I go to GI 1. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 10 through to 19, 20 through to 31 without any missing. So I'm going to include this into the script. So where you do that is here. I plug it into the they all do the same. The three, actually, no, sorry, wrong. These three do the same, but this is for flashers only. I don't think there's any flashers in this table, so they're not probably going to be included. So I just cut and paste, bang, 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 3. I should have just, like, I know there's going to be 30 here. Oops. And, you know, so you can't put a flasher where there's supposed to be lights, and you can't put lights in the flashers. Oops, I could have just stayed. 10. Okay, I'm just going to grab this. And then we get it up to 15 there. I don't extend beyond that, because then, you know, you're constantly stretching the window to see things. 17, 18, 19, now 20. I'm gonna grab that. I think I have to go to 31. And then all the GI lights will work. You don't really have to do much more than that. It's pretty simple. 4, 5, whoops. Wait. Give me back my 2. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, and 31. You can tell that's the end of it. That's the last in the pop down. So 31, there it is. All the GIs are in. So we'll save that and we'll enable the GI and make sure that there's no issue. We'll do the GI. It's too bad we don't have any flashers in this table. Because my system, what I will call the system flashers there, the global flashers, they're here. And any subsequent flashers, like let's say they were flashers associated with, used instead of lights. So instead of global illumination, you had global flashers. Well, you would plug them in here. I wish I would be able to show how to adjust those, but this example doesn't have that. So, well, actually, maybe no, there's none. So I'm going to plug in all of these high intensity lights, F1, F21. And I'm going to put that in the bloom lights, F21, F28. I keep them in order. I don't do the small lights. Even though there's small lights here, I'm not doing them. They can't compete anyway. So even with the light given off by F29A, the light given by visual pinball, so I don't touch those. They stay as they are. I only deal with the large lights, the ones that usually have bloom in it. F31. Come on. Let's go. F32. I'm going to stop talking. I'm just going to start doing. F22 is going to go behind. There. Let's go. 37A. So obviously, again, the same deal. If you had flashers here and they were part of the flashing routine, you would throw the flashers in here, not in here, because if you get an error. 27. And then that's a pain in the butt to try to find which one is the error. That's why flashers, I always call them FL, something or other. And I know in lights, well, LI. 26. So then I know, and GI, well, GI. Just so that I know what it is I'm selecting. Sometimes the flashers, I mean, you can change the shape. It looks like a, if it wasn't for that circle, you would think it was a light. All right, so that's in. So we have to enable that too. So we're going to enable bloom lights in the functions here. Enable bloom lights. Normally I have flashers. It's rare that a table doesn't have them, so unfortunately we won't be able to show that. And that's it. 5. Let's see. Make sure that all is good. And it seems. Okay. And add some. Wait for the checksum to finish. Okay. 1. Yeah, I do have flashers. Oh, yeah, I have the backglass flashers. Right. I'll add those. But you can see now that those flashers now have less influence. They've already diminished by at least 50%. See, the light itself lights, but there's less bloom effect. Oh, I got up there. I always miss this. I hate that. I always miss this ball. Come on, man. Give me the TV. Oh, yes. Yep, that's perfect. It's really looking good now. And that's enough of that playing. Stop playing. And so I could drag it right up. Now it's going to be really intense. But still playable. I mean, if you got cataracts, maybe this would help, but I wouldn't play at that level. So you bring it down to a normal level here. This is the usual setting that most authors put it on, but the second notch when they do use the day and night cycle slider. It's going to depend. Yeah, it's a little too bright. To me, that's like blech. Anyway, I'll bring that down because I still got more things I need to do. I'm going to add those flashers from the back glass. That's better. I like it a little darker here, It just, a pinball table is about lighting, it really is. It's a light show. It's not just about the play field and the gameplay. It is a light show. So we're going to go grab those. The reverse I want. Yes. Okay, so S32. And since we do have two lights, actually, I'm just going to cut and paste from here. There we go. All of that. And bring that into the flashers. We're going to plug that in here. Because we already know that those are all just flashers from the back glass. So there we go. And we enable that here. We enable these two lines to include so that the flashers are compensated for when the day and night intensity changes. And we'll verify that, make sure everything's working. Yep, good. And you can see as I was bringing down you can really see it in the grill. The grill really shows up because it's essentially almost a black and white element. And now it's a lot darker. Can't wait to put the DMD in there. It's going to look great. It's the perfect 100th FSS table because it's a party. It's a pinball party and it's a fun table. Just going to drag back up and you're going to see the grill intensity will change. Now you see it more. You see the speakers more. Before you just really saw the edge, and it brightens it up, and it's having the same impact on the back glass. Now it doesn't even look like it's lit from the back. It looks more like it's global exterior light that it's lighting the entire scene rather than local system lights. If I drag it back to 0, now it will look like it's actually not in the environment that's lighting the everything. It looks more like it's the actual lights from the back glass that are lighting everything and lighting the table. It's great. It works really well. So I think that is it. The flashers were working. Everything looks good. The intensities are just fine. This could be adjusted a little more to bring it down just a tad, just to get these two to be a little more similar. The way you do that is in here, because you cannot just adjust the lights any longer. You have to do it through here. And so where is that? High. It's high. Div values. I usually don't mess around too much with that. Let me just have a look at the texture itself. Hold on. And opacity, yeah. I could. Or is it just a background? Maybe it's the dark background. Usually I mess around with dark background. I could bring that down more. Bring it more to what I usually set it to. It's actually pretty low. But it all has an impact. It's all cumulative. Yep. I like that. A little better. But I mean, it's one of those textures where it's lit all over the place. Plus, we didn't have the appropriate mask when we made the mask. So, you know, I'm gonna leave it at that. And that's it, I think. I hope. There is one thing I could do is when you include flashers, see, I could use this function instead of using flash. So I go down to the two lights that I added in the update lamp section. I'm going to uncomment these, comment those out, and we're going to use those so that when the intensities are adjusted, they are adjusted based on what the slider position is. And take that, put it here, and it's a replacement for flash. Do I just have flash? Let me see, hold on a second. Yes, I do. Okay, so not M. There. Okay, so this, and it just replaces those flash functions with day and night adjusted flash functions. And there we go. And so now those two flashing lights, which I think are the probably our state. What? Oh, huh? Wait a minute. Let me see here. Light state. Oh, it thinks it's a light. That can't be. And the object. Is that correct? Do I have that right? Oh, object and value. Ooh, yeah. Okay, I'm going to use flash M here. No, that's same. Okay, hold on. Oh, now this video is going to get big for nothing. Oops. Hurry up. We're going to do MEX. Yep. 132, solve, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's all good. Okay. F5. What is going on? It's for flashers. What the heck? Am I missing something? Okay, well, you know, you run into issues. I was not hoping for this. Yeah. Intensity scale? Yeah. What? This is nothing. I mean, it's just a data set. Intensity scale. There's intensity scale on a flasher. Oh, I've got them reversed. Ah. Oops. When I made the functions, I flipped around the data. It's supposed to be this first, the object, then the value. I wish VBA would give you better feedback than when it gives you errors and the totally erroneous messages that it gives you. All right, there we go. The other four flashers, they only turn on and off, so it doesn't matter. These are the two that are actually adjusted. So whenever they get used, they will light up. Anyway, so that's it. Now we have the day and night capability. Might as well just adjust this nice and quickly, just to show how convenient it is. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, I don't like that. I'm picky. Yeah. So that's day-night transition ability and adjustment of global lights and global flashers to sort of mimic a general global illumination model. That's it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and keep watching. I've got more to come.